Okay, let's talk about something that is, I think, one of the most frustrating things for any business owner. You've put in the work, you've got people coming to your website, but your phone's not ringing, your inbox is totally empty, you have the traffic, but you're getting zero business. So what on earth is going on?
This right here, this is the classic line I hear all the time. You look at your analytics, you can see the visitor numbers ticking up, but none of it is turning into actual leads or sales. It really feels like you're just shouting into the void, doesn't it?
I am willing to bet that for a lot of you listening, this hits pretty close to home. And you know what? You're not alone in this. The good news is, this is a totally solvable problem. But the solution? It's usually not what people think it is.
See, most people automatically think this is a traffic problem. The first thought is always, we just need to get more people to the website. But hang on, if the visitors you already have aren't taking action, getting more of them isn't going to fix the real issue. The problem isn't traffic, it's conversion.
And this slide really gets to the heart of it. Getting traffic is all about getting attention. That's one job. But conversion, getting those visitors to actually do something, that's about driving a decision. It's a completely different game. It's a messaging game, not just a numbers game.
So here's the key thing to remember. People are landing on your site for a reason. There's already a spark of interest there. But then something happens, or more accurately, something doesn't happen that fails to convince them that you are the right choice. They see you, but they don't see themselves in the solution you're offering. And just like that, they're gone.
So let's play detective for a few minutes. We're going to break down the 5 most common conversion killers. These are the hidden reasons your visitors are leaving. And as we go through them, I want you to think about your own website and see if any of these sound familiar.
First up, and without a doubt the number one offender, is that your website messaging is all about you and not about your customer. So many websites spend all their time talking about the business, its history, its team, its awards. It's just a constant stream of we.
And this leads to these kinds of phrases you see here. Things like, we've been in business for 20 years, or we have a great team. Now, that stuff might feel important to you, but to your visitor, it does absolutely nothing to help them make a decision. It's just noise that doesn't solve their immediate problem.
Because every single person who lands on your website is silently and urgently asking themselves this one question. They're not wondering about your company's history, they're wondering if you can solve their problem right now. And if your website doesn't answer that question in about 3 seconds, they're gone.
So, what works instead? Your messaging needs to answer these 3 questions for your visitor. What exact problem do you solve? Who, specifically, do you solve it for? And why are you the absolute best choice for them? That's what grabs their attention and keeps them on the page.
Okay, on to our second conversion killer. And it really builds on this last point. This is a big one, trying to be everything to everyone. It's that classic, we do it all approach.
And this is just so important. When a potential customer sees you as a generalist, it just creates uncertainty. They're looking for an expert, a specialist who really gets their specific situation. Being vague to try and attract more people actually has the opposite effect. It ends up attracting no one. Okay, so let's say you've nailed your messaging and your positioning is super sharp. The visitor is interested, they're leaning in, and then nothing. This brings us to conversion killer number 3, you completely failed to tell them what to do next.
And this confusion is an absolute deal breaker. When a visitor has to guess what the next step is, they almost always choose the easiest option, which is to do nothing and just leave your site. You can't make them think.
A high-converting website acts like a guide. It makes the next step totally obvious, impossible to miss, with a clear call to action. And, this is crucial, it tells them what to expect after they click. This gets rid of all the friction and anxiety, making it so much easier for them to move forward.
Which brings us to conversion killer number 4. And this might be the most overlooked piece of the puzzle, a lack of trust. Trust is basically the currency of the internet. Without it, nobody is going to give you their time, their info, or their money. Period. And this slide just shows you the night and day difference. So many sites use those generic stock photos and make these empty claims like, we're the best. That builds zero trust. What actually works? Authenticity, real photos of your team, real testimonials from happy clients, real examples of your work. That's what actually convinces people.
And finally, we have our 5th conversion killer, a website structure that is just not built to help people make a decision. A lot of websites are basically just a collection of pages. You've got your About Us, your services, your contact page. It's not a system designed to guide someone to say yes.
You have to think of your website as a journey
A visitor lands, they immediately understand what you do, you start building their trust, and then you guide them to a very clear action. Without this logical flow, visitors just get lost, they get confused, and they leave.
So, we've just diagnosed the 5 biggest problems. Now, the big question. How do you actually fix it? Well, the great news is it all comes down to asking a few very simple but incredibly powerful questions.
This right here is your immediate takeaway. Go to your website's homepage right now and ask these 4 questions. If the answer to any of them is no, or even just kinda, then you've found exactly why your website isn't converting. This is your roadmap, this is how you fix it.
Okay, let's wrap all this up. When you strip everything else away, a website that successfully and consistently generates business does just a few essential things really, really well.
It really is this simple. A great website makes the ideal customer feel like, yes, I'm in the right place. It builds their trust quickly with authentic proof, and it makes the next step completely obvious and super easy to take. That's the whole secret. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. A brochure just sits there. It provides information, and that's it. But a salesperson actively guides, convinces, and closes deals. So take a good hard look at your site and ask yourself, which one is it? Because the answer to that question will change your entire business.